Hello everyone. So yeah, I've been having some simple ideas for simple videos. So will be part of our Back to Basics series. In this video, we will be talking about crit chance and how it's calculated. And as stated before, if this kind of video is beneath you, if you feel if it's beneath you, there is no reason for hating. Just stop watching at this point, and I can explain my thoughts and ideas to the people that are interested in it. Let's get on with it, guys. So guys, how is crit chance calculated? So this could sound extremely simple and trivial. It's not that simple, right? It's pretty simple, but it's not that simple. So let me get into it. So guys, in the game we have attacks and spells, right? So crit chance is calculated differently for both. So let's get on with the, for a change, more complicated part first, spells. So guys, every spell will have a different crit chance, right? So as you can see, for example, Orb of Storms have 10% crit chance. This one doesn't damage, these don't damage. Conductivity doesn't damage. Spark has 9% crit chance. And so this will be based on the spell, right? Every spell will have a different crit chance, and its final crit chance will be calculated on that base crit chance. So you might have been surprised when you were leveling, you get a note that says crit chance on it. Let's say 20% crit chance, and the crit chance doesn't go up by 20%. What's going on, right? And that's why I'm doing this video basically. So let's get to a place of crits. Okay. Let me go here. So first of all, guys, there are three different kinds of crits, right? There is crit chance, there is crit chance for attacks, and there is crit chance for spells. I'm gimping this character hard. Okay. That's another crit damage bonus. Okay, that's another crit damage bonus. That doesn't help. Okay, that's crit chance. That's crit chance. So guys, thing is, 10% crit chance. So let's take a look at my Spark. My Spark's crit chance is 18.63%. We'll get to that. So now, how much crit would I be getting when I allocate that 10% crit chance node? So we have to take a look at our Spark here, guys. So that crit chance that you observe there is actually applied to the base crit chance on the spell itself. So Spark crit chance is 9%. And if I allocate a node that gives me a 10% crit chance, so 10% of 9% is 0.9%. So if I'm correct, this crit chance should be going up to 19.53%. Let's find out. As you can see, 19.53%. Why? Because, as I said, it took the 10% of the 9% base crit chance for Spark. So, let's do another experiment. So this time we have around 20, which would mean 20% of 9%, that is 1.8%. And our final result would be 21.33%. Being a nerd is good, right? At least today. So that's how it's calculated, okay? So the spell has a crit chance, and that would vary from spell to spell. So, for example, you would have to get a different amount of crit chance for getting Spark to 100% crit, and for getting, Orb of Storms to do that. And, for example, if you are playing a Blood Mage, they have an ascendancy node that brings the crit chance of spells to a 15% base. That will make a whole lot of difference. So guys, that doesn't just give you a few percent crit chance, that also makes all of the crit chances that you grab from the passive tree much better, right? Because guys, so for example, on 9% crit chance, this gives me 1.8% crit chance, right? But on 15% crit chance, that gives me 3% crit chance. So I don't not only get 6% crit chance on the Spark, as I said, it also makes all of these critically chance nodes that I'm getting on the tree and my jewels, if they have crit chance on them, better. So let me go back to what I said. There are three different kinds of crit chance and crit damage. So there is crit chance that works for everything. There is critical chance for spells. Obviously, it only boosts the crit chance of spells only, and then there is its counterpart, critically chance for attack. So if you get a jewel with critically chance and critically chance for spells, you would actually be doubly increasing your crit chance for spells, right? So because the critically chance is global, it will increase your crit chance, and then the critically chance for spells will increase it furthermore, right? And actually, now that I come to think about it, I think spells are a little bit easier. The only thing that you have to pay attention to is your spell's base crit chance, and if you are a blood mage and have that 15% base crit chance node, that also changes the calculations. I mean, let me go into it. I mean, my blood mage is broken because she was an auto bomber, but I guess I can still show it. I can show the node to you. Yeah. So guys, that means you calculate your crit chance based on this 15%. So for example, if it's a build that it's crucial for you to reach 100% crit chance, this is very good, because it's very hard to get there with a 9% or 8% base crit chance, but 15% it's very doable, right? This build, for example, the auto bomber, if you remember it from like 3 months ago, this build is a must-have for 100% crit chance, because you were utilizing trample toe and you need to crit every single hit. So yeah, I do have lightning bolts tooltip, won't show. I'm guessing it's a stat thingy. Let me just do a stat here, it doesn't really matter too much. Okay, shut up. Can I do it now? Oh, I still can't do it. Oh, because I do not have 191 intelligence. How much intelligence do I have? 179. Okay. Let's just do a few more. That does it. Okay. Okay, so crit chance is 63.6%. Before the build was broken, of course, it was 100%. So for example, guys, because I have the blood mage node, if I grab anything related to crit strike, that would be based on that. So for example, I have 12% crit chance here, 12%, what an odd number. So guys, my base crit chance is 15%, right? Let's take a look at this. Lightning bolt's crit chance is 10%, but as a blood mage, my crit chance is 15% with spells, and obviously that will count because it wouldn't be meaningless otherwise. So if I lose that 12% crit chance node here, I should be losing 1.8% crit chance, right? Because 12% of 15% is 1.8%. Let's take a look at this. So this should go down to 61.8%. One way to find out. Yeah, as you can see. So that's how spells are, guys. It's simple. As I said, there is a base crit chance that is being displayed to you on the spell, and you get 20% crit chance on your jewels or whatever it is, right? So that would increase your chance to crit by that percentage of your base crit chance. So how does it work on the attacks? Let's go on my lightning spear fella, or gal rather. Okay, so on an attack-based character, guys, your weapon's base crit chance has to be taken into account, right? And the thing is, if like Tangle Tongue, it has added crit chance to it, that actually increases the base crit chance, right? And as you can see, the base crit chance is being displayed here, right? That's the base crit chance. The double number, just disregard it. I will have a video for that. It's about Fox critical hit stingy here, right? So 28%. So guys, when I get critical hit on this character, it assumes to 28.15% as my base crit chance. So let's, for the sake of argument, say this was actually 25% for ease of calculation. So if I get 20%, it will calculate the 20% of the 25%, which is going to be 5%. So my crit chance would have been increased by 5%, right? And let me just show this to you. So my crit chance, actually it won't be very easy to show because my crit chance is 100%, but let me just go up to it. Okay. So I have one spec of 10% crit chance. And this is not really, very good because, so 97.36%, guys, right? And let me unspec this 20%. And if I'm correct about this, this would be reducing my crit chance by 20% of that 28% something I have. So my crit chance should be getting reduced by 5.6%, 5.63% to be precise, I think. Yes, 5.63%. And because I lost the dexterity kick, I can't use it. Okay, I lost 10 dexterity. Okay, let's do it this way. Now it should be okay. And as you can see, it drops by the amount I told you, right? Or let's just 91.53%. So if I'm correct again, it should be going to 97 something, 97.36 or something. Yeah, I just something like that. Oh, not something like that, exactly like that, 97.36. And when I finally allocate that node, that gives me 10% back, guys. That's going to add 2.81%. So my crit chance will go just a little above 100%, which is, as you can imagine, I did that on purpose. Because going over 100% doesn't do anything. So I wanted to hit exactly 100% or very near. So that would be 100.1% or something. Yeah. So that is how it's calculated. So the added crit chance on the weapon doesn't just give you critical hit chance, it also makes all of the crit chance modifiers, wherever you get them, much better, right? The percentage ones. Because this just adds, as you can see, there's a plus in front. I mean, obviously it has percentage, but it does add to the base amount, right? So the base amount changes. I mean, warriors, as a general rule of thumb, do not crit, but let's just go over it. Because you can't afford to be dodged, so you allocate resolute technique that prevents you from critting and prevents you from getting dodged. But let's take a look at this, guys. So I have 5% crit chance here, and if I were to allocate something that gives me 10% crit chance, that would give me a 0.5% crit chance. Why? Because my base crit chance is 5%, and I get 10% of that. That is 0.5%, right? Let me see. As you can see, there is nothing that's regarding critical hit here. Why? Because of this node, right? As I said, you forego your chance of going for critical hits, but you prevent yourself from getting dodged. Why do you do this? Why do warriors do this when the other stuffs aren't? Because you attack many times per second with a bow, with a crossbow, whatever it is, and you don't mind getting dodged, right? You don't mind the mobs evading your hits because it will happen like maybe once or twice. But with a warrior, you can only do one hit once every several seconds, and you cannot afford that to be dodged, so you do this. And if I were to unspec this node, guys, then the crit chance will appear there, right? Let me show you. So the 5% crit should appear. As you can see, it does appear. But of course, guys, because I am literally unable to crit, I have done no investment there. So these are the base values, right? My base crit chance and my base crit damage bonus. I do not have a crit damage bonus or increased crit chance anywhere, right? Obviously, because I cannot crit anyway. But if I were to get some nodes that said crit, do we have anything here? Okay, we can do this, I suppose. Critical hit chance for attacks. I did tell you this. So this wouldn't increase the spell's critical hit chance, but it would increase the crit chance for any attack. So guys, if I do this, right, I'm going to have a 5.5% crit chance. Ta-da, right? So that's basically it, guys. That's how it's calculated. For spells, you look up your spell's crit chance, right, which you can find out by mouse overing, and any amount of percentage crit chance for spells or percentage crit chance, the global one, they will increase your chance of critting by that percentage of the spell's base crit chance. Exceptions notwithstanding, like Blood Mage. And for attacks, it's simple. You just take a look at the crit chance of your weapon, right? And then any amount of crit chance that you will get will be increasing your chance to crit by that percentage. So for guys, if I were to get 30% crit chance here on the passive tree, that would increase my crit chance by 1.5%. Why? Because 30% of 5% is 1.5%. So that's obviously right now it would 0 because I cannot crit. But if I didn't have the resolute technique allocated, then it would have given me 1.5%. So guys, yeah, as you can see, it's simple, but also there are some nuances to it. That's why I wanted to go over that. And then this will be a building stone for another video. I have cooking, so to speak. So yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to ask. I'll see you about. Bye-bye.